Welcome to 561 Music. My name's Ben.
And I'm Hector.
How's it going, Hector?
It is going fantastic, Ben. How are you?
I'm okay. It's Cinco de Mayo today. You got any interesting observations on that subject?
No. And I know it's very insensitive of me, but no. But I do want to talk to you about something.
Yeah, what's that?
So you and I were talking a little bit last week, and I guess it was brought to my attention by several people that apparently I have approximately one contractually obligated bash on my wife.
Yeah, that's right.
At pretty much every episode.
Yeah.
So for those of you watching at home, Justin, if you can bring the graphic up on the screen now. We were playing a show the other day.
What is that?
This, for those of you that are watching the podcast and not listening, this is a frozen pizza that takes about 10 minutes to make in the oven.
Right.
It's not difficult. You set the oven at 350 or something for 10, 12 minutes.
This is a what's happening right now?
This was a pizza that she sent me a picture of the other day and said, "Here, fuel for your podcast." So there you go. My wife can't cook, gentlemen. That's all I got to say about that. She can't cook.
She's got spirit. You've
she's
got to give it to her. She's got a great sense of humor.
Oh, she's a trooper, man. She's a trooper, but she still can't cook.
No, my wife's not a great cookie, though. I tend to do pretty much most of the cooking around my house. But then saying that, I think she earns more money than me. So, it swings and roundabouts. The modern world.
Oh, my wife makes way more money than I do. So, so it's okay that she can't cook because we can afford to eat out.
I think I've said on every single podcast up to this date that behind every good musician is a partner with a good job.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Well, I am extremely excited about this week's episode. I've already been having a blast just setting up with these guys. Welcome to the show, Menudo, for our Cinco de Mayo episode.
Yes, what an entry.
Yeah.
We got Andrew Alonso and Chris Santiago, sons of a tradesman.
That's right. Standard Mexicans.
Thank you very
much.
That's right.
That's right.
Welcome, gentlemen.
So the deal was that Hector was holding this date because he was really, really hoping to get a mariachi band or something like that, and then it went on for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I just got itchy feet, and I was like, you know what, we haven't booked Sons of a Tradesman yet. Let's just get them in on this day because it'll be a good laugh. And despite the fact that none of us here are Mexican, I know you guys know how to party, so that's
what it came down
that's
to.
A good enough
we
reason.
definitely
What it came down to
party
was,
harder than the Mexicans.
we were holding out. We were holding out for a mariachi band, and then eventually it occurred to me that any good mariachi band is probably booked tonight.
They're probably playing.
They're probably
working very hard.
So we got the next best thing.
So you went with the brown half of Sons of a Tradesman.
Sons of Tradesman. There you go.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Let me just make sure everyone understands that was not my decision.
Oh, no, listen.
I don't think it was my decision either.
Honestly, it was all my decision.
Either way, we're here and it's awesome. Thank
We're
you.
having a great
absolutely.
time. We're having a great time.
Thanks for coming. So we have a few questions that we ask everybody. There you go. We have a few questions that we ask everyone, and seeing as Andrew's sipping his beer, I'm going to start with you, Chris. Why did you start playing music? What were the circumstances in your early life that kind of got you into music?
I think we kind of chatted a little bit earlier about it, but like the cajon that everyone will see earlier or later on. Sorry, that my dad growing up, he used to have a lot of random percussion instruments growing up.
Yeah.
During boxing matches on Saturday nights, I'm even talking Tyson fights. I'm old enough to know about them and watch them. But those nights we would party all night long, eat great food, drink, have a good time. Ooh. And after the fight, you'd go in the garage and everybody just have a jam session.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was my earliest time of
actually
ever playing an instrument.
That's cool.
And
is that like the family? Just all you guys kind of jamming out?
That was family, friends, even the redneck neighbors across the street, dude. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, and now, man, it's all about love,
Yeah, what kind of music did you guys play when you're doing that?
Oh, that was straight up fucking Hector Lavoe. Legit Spanish music, yeah.
Cool.
Baby making Spanish music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, yeah, man. Just
it's gotta be good.
Just
with a name
the high
like
end
Hector,
stuff,
man.
yeah.
It's gotta be good.
Cool.
With a name like Hector.
It's gotta be for the
I mean,
gyrate.
there was no Pat Benatar being played in that garage that night. No fucking way.
Did you ever do anything sort of formal in terms of your music, or is it all just kind of figuring out yourself and jamming with people?
So, like, eventually what ended up happening is that, like, my dad got my sister into a music school called ASM that was in West Palm for a long time.
Yeah. Okay.
And what ended up happening was, like, she got placed in as, like, keyboard, and my dad was, like, hounding me, like, dude, learn something.
Right.
And eventually it got to the point where I was just like, all right, like, I mean, I'll try guitar. So he got me a guitar first, and I tried to learn how to play it, dude. Like, it literally went nowhere. I was, like, just doing chugging breakdowns on the guitar.
Right.
I was like, all right, I guess I'm good at, like, rhythms.
Yeah.
And my best friend down the street, he was a, like, multi-instrumentist. Like, just any instrument that you gave him. Trombone, anything that you gave him, he was just amazing at.
Oh, cool.
And
We've all hated a guy like that.
oh my god, I hated him for years. But like he ended up asking me to bring my guitar that my dad bought for me over his place, and he had a beautiful drum set, a pork pie drum set.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And I was like he's playing my guitar, and I'm looking at the drum set. I'm like, you mind if I sit down?
I love
Yeah.
pork.
And he's
cool.
like, just do, bro, like I'm trying to play your guitar right now.
Yeah. It's
Like, all
fine.
right,
Yeah.
fucking piece of garbage. I'll do it, all right. So that's actually like my first couple days of learning how to play on a set.
Okay. Cool.
And yeah, no, after that, like I want to say like I probably played on that, like in that situation, that kind of experience. I want to say like maybe 3 months, realized I got good at it, got into the music school, enrolled, and then it's just like history
neat.
from there.
You did
yeah.
that? Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I did music school when I was like 18, 19 as well. I ended up doing it at university in the end. But yeah. What about you, Andrew? How did you get into music?
Well, my obviously I'm Cuban for those that don't know. Although I have a bit of a 9/11-y look to me, I am Cuban. I'm from South Florida, you know. But
Welcome, fellow Cuban.
yeah, right. What's up, my brother? So yeah, I mean that in itself is an odd thing, right? Cubans and rock and roll, it's like not really a thing. But my mom is one of 3 children. She's the only daughter, and she had 2 brothers. And the eldest of them, Robert, he was like the black sheep of the family. He was into rock and roll. He was into American race cars,
Oh, cool.
American women, you know, which was faux pas for a Cuban family.
Right. Okay. I
And-
didn't know that.
Faux pas.
You know, so I mean, I guess
Really?
that's the only like blood connection. And then I was old, you know, considering when I picked up a guitar. I was in high school when I picked up a guitar, and I was really, you know, just kind of like going off of the couple of records that I had left over, you know, from the uncle back when, you know, like Jimi Hendrix live at Woodstock and B.B. King live at the Regal, and this was like kind of like the first couple of records that I had.
Okay.
So I was really drawn to blues guitarists, and I always thought that was super cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so I wanted to do that. So, I mean, I bought a guitar and started messing with it myself, you know, shitty YouTube videos and many, like, bloody blistered fingers later. And my original guitarist, PJ, which shout out to my boy Philip, my forever brother, founding member of the band.
Right.
But spent a lot of time in his little bedroom of his mom's house, just smoking way too much weed and blowing it out the window and trying
there you
to
go.
learn chord progressions, and him struggling to teach me the circle of fifths, you know, until it made him want to cry, and it's just sending me home with chord progressions. And
Did you ever master it?
absolutely not, absolutely not. Yeah, but that's why I have my Guido, and
Yeah, there you go.
it was just, you know, it was just me, I guess, always just wanting to be able to play that guitar. And when it came to forming a band, it was just I got sick of waiting for somebody to make music I wanted to listen to.
Yeah, that is the best possible reason I could think of.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So that's how I got here.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Thank you.
So what in terms of like we already touched on it a little bit, but like what kind of music were you exposed to growing up? What do you think was the biggest sort of things that like your parents were listening to, or that your friends were listening
Yeah,
to?
for sure, man. Well, I mean, fuck what my friends were listening to, because I never listened to anything that my friends were listening to,
Right.
unfortunately, because they were listening to like when like my friends were listening to like Sum 41 and like
Yeah,
that
okay.
was coming out. Like I had just discovered like Back in Black. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right,
I was like,
right.
have you heard this? Like, have you heard this thing? It's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. The source of power.
Yeah.
You know, so but my dad was always real big on outlaw country music, and he's a law enforcement officer, which God bless all of our law enforcement and all of our first responders and anybody that's brave enough to do that, because I'm sure should not
Oh yeah, man.
And yeah, man, hell yeah. But he always was in the outlaw country, and in his off days, you know, because cops and firemen, they'll have like those like schedules where they have 3 or 4 days off. Yeah. He drove a truck and he hauled trees or whatever they would pay him to haul. A very Cuban thing to do, to drive a truck. And when we would drive around, we listened to outlaw country music, man. Waylon Jennings and Hank Sr. and stuff like that. And I was always super drawn to that. My dad showed me AC/DC, and I just kind of like ran with it. It wasn't like something that was like super around and I was super exposed to. It was just something that I heard once and I really liked, and I never let it go.
That's awesome. Yeah. I know that like through listening to your music, there's a lot of sort of different influences in there. There's you know, there's blues, there's rock, there's I mean, it is predominantly kind of rock, but then there's also kind of, especially in the that single, you know, you're rapping a lot in that. Do you listen to a lot of hip hop?
I mean, I did, and this is a fun.
You and I actually talked about like Bone Thugs and Harmony earlier.
On the way here, yeah. But fun fact,
I'm a huge fan of like Bone Thugs and Harmony, like 3 6 Mafia, Lil Wayne, you know, just all
Lil Wayne
types.
Mixtape, Lil Wayne. Was
all
shit.
mixtapes of Lil Wayne.
Fun fact though, I don't know if anybody knows this. If you go on what's where all the rappers come out of, like Lil Pump, SoundCloud. If you go on SoundCloud, and you search _reason. Yeah. Was from when Once Upon a Time when I thought I was a rapper.
Oh, there you go.
And you'll find a couple of songs on there.
I don't even know about this.
I know you don't. I'm actually
What's
kind
the
of.
name of this?
Yeah, I'm actually.
The Reason?
The _reason.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
actually.
a serious name.
I'm actually really proud of some of those songs that I wrote. And I was really into like writing poetry and stuff. And when it comes to like hip hop, I mean, I was always super like. I got when rap was blowing up and like mixtape.
I love
Wayne,
when brown guys like come up with these super like serious,
super
names.
meaningful names.
Yeah, super
I'm
meaningful.
the reason you listen to hip hop.
Oh shit, I need to listen to
Yeah,
that.
just super
Oh my
pretentious.
God.
I didn't even pick it. Somebody picked it for me. It's a super shitty, pretentious name. You know what I mean? But it's like
The Reason. It's got some power.
It reminds me of that Hoobastank song, and nobody likes them. You know what I mean? So like, yeah. But
I had a friend whose real name is Rich Reason. And so, because you know the program, you know that like music like software that you can make music with called Reason, you know that stuff.
Yeah, it's like
yeah. He was like he was a drum and bass producer, and so he just left his name Rich Reason because it was perfect on it, you know.
Why not?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like if I was a painter and my last name was Photoshop. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rich Reason. Actually, I haven't seen you in a long time. Hope you're doing well out there. If you're listening to this, which I don't think he's listening to this.
Yeah, but if he
You'd
does,
be surprised, man.
Give him a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sort of goes fairly well into the next question. And, you know, I want you to have a think about it because part of the reason I asked this question is for people who are currently trying to do it themselves and younger people and people who've never really attempted it or wouldn't know where to start. Like, how do you guys write music? Like, what's your writing process?
You want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go for it a little bit, and I'll let you elaborate. So essentially, what has usually happened, which is actually like kind of fucking insane, is that, and I try not to bring this too much to Andrew, but I do like to bring it up every once in a while because it lets him know, like within a short amount of time that he's come. I don't know if you heard him earlier, but he hasn't really been playing music for very long. It's like I went through the younger years of like, you know, like junior year in high school, getting into bands, and like I went on 2 tours all by the time I graduated.
Right, really.
And then like Andrew, like he was basically like trying to pursue, you know, a life in business,
right, and
living somewhere completely different from his family and trying to, you know, create like a real life for himself.
Yeah.
With you know, schooling, and so it's insane that like quite a bit of our songs that we've actually written, Andrew is actually the beginning of it. Like he's written, it's one of those things that like the more seasoned you are is the reason why you can't write.
You know, I feel that.
That's a real. It's a real thing.
Yeah, you end up writing about being in a band.
At least, no, for sure though. Like, I mean, like me, like I feel like I've never like whenever him and I are like writing together, obviously, which is also sounds weird for a lot of people. Drummers should never really have too much of an influence until what I say is like the like write your melodies. I'll deal with the transitions.
Okay.
I'll deal with the transitions, and the bassist will also. And what I call the bassist, he's more of like the mediator.
Right.
He's the, he knows the rhythms, but he also knows the melodies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let him do the talking for me. As long as I can get him on my page, or if I'm on his page,
Right.
we can kind of
Yeah, that makes
construct
sense.
something that's almost like, not like a Beatles type of deal, but like more of like how we like to write music is a little bit more intricate to where like just a little bit less than what like Rush is. You know?
Okay.
Like, we like to, everybody has to be busy. Everybody's trying to have a good time.
Yeah, that's
You know,
really
yeah,
interesting.
so like we try to do stuff like that. I know all of us, we like to wow the other musicians in the room.
Yeah, cool.
Always.
Yeah.
That's like the number
Yeah.
one rule.
Yeah, absolutely. And
But,
the what you were saying about the bassist, I totally agree with. It's my, if in another life I'd be a bassist because I love the way
say that all the time.
I love the way that it's just
Me
like
too.
it's
So
right
good.
and it's the glue,
It's everything.
It's
Yeah.
in between rhythm and it's rhythm, bass, melody, harmony, it's
everything.
everything. Yeah.
It's
What'd you say? Heck, you two?
Oh yeah,
as
in
well?
another
Yeah.
life, I'd
Oh,
love
same,
to be a
same.
bassist.
Too, because you're always bobbing your head to the bass, bro. It's the funk. It's the funk.
Yeah, totally. And I think also that it's the most a good bassist. If they, each
hard to
note
say.
is really important. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
It's very much
Especially
like
the ones you don't play.
it's very right. It's very much like the music distilled into its core elements.
It's the
you know what
glue,
I mean?
man.
It's a
It
good way
keeps,
to-
keeps everybody on
Yeah,
pace. It
which
keeps everybody
which
together.
actually, like, I mean, obviously, like, we're talking about the bass in our band and everything, but like, I mean, massive shout out to Marvin.
Yeah.
big
Marvin
shout out to
is-
Marvin.
I don't know if you guys have caught us since like Marvin's been in the band.
I've
Like-
seen it online, but I haven't because we're
He's
so busy with gigs.
He's a freak.
fucking madman, bro.
Yeah.
Like
It is
it's
him.
just he like not only is he like amazing to watch live, not only is he like just super on it, but for the writing process, like he's
he's great.
killing it.
He's
Yeah,
super
cool.
knowledgeable.
He has
bro.
the knowledge
Yeah.
like that is just in like 1,000
Yeah, that's
pages,
awesome.
Just
and
a-
he's just shooting
He's
it
a
at
career
you all day.
musician.
Well,
Yeah.
I've sort of rubbed up against him since I've been down here because
You have
he
to.
was
Yeah.
he's always been around and like part of that whole kind of like swamp punk kind of scene that was happening 10
Yeah.
years ago and everything.
He
And
was the drummer of Everyman for a bit.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That I found out about recently. I couldn't believe it. Which I've seen them a bunch of times when I never even knew Marvin. I didn't even
That's
know
'cause that's
Andrew yet.
pre-beard Marvin.
Yeah, and I remember him like loading his stand-up bass out of the front of up in the front of Propaganda. And he always seemed kind of this cool, mysterious dude, with a big
That's what he
mustache.
is. That's what he is.
Yeah.
I want to touch on something that Chris said though, because it's something that we put a lot into when we write songs. And he said we like to wow the other musicians in a room.
Yeah.
So where I come into the songwriting process, right? I'm the most inexperienced musician in my band.
Right.
When it comes to years on your instrument,
Yeah.
I'm by far and large the most inexperienced,
Right.
which is both a benefit and a detriment to us, right? In different ways, and we try to find a way to use it the best we can. As far as like saying, that you want to wow every musician in the room, me as the guy with that lack of experience, I count on my bandmates to help me make it entertaining and interesting for a guy like you that knows everything about music theory.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we're writing a song now where 3 different pieces of the band are playing in different time signatures, but every 4th or 5th go around it syncs up ever so
links up.
beautifully.
Yeah, that's
You know what I
cool.
mean? And so we're writing songs like that. But the song at different layers is enjoyable. At any value that you approach it, and when I say it, I mean the song or the band as a whole, it's enjoyable. At face
Yeah.
value, just as background music, as play it on 12 when you're driving down the highway, as listen to the lyrics and look for some meaning to change your life, or as a musician, like we all listen to music like fucking assholes and play something that's hard to play.
Yeah.
All those things are in there. And
Yeah.
to me, that's super important because, like I was telling you earlier, whether our band sells out stadiums one day or whether 15 years from now somebody's talking about it and how they saw this band down here and that's what made them want to pick up an instrument, or they opened for our band
That's
and they
what's
reached
truly,
out
like,
to the
worth it
singer,
us,
or
yeah.
the drummer of the band, and they opened for us and that started their whole shit.
Yeah.
And we're,
Yeah.
like you said, stalwarts in our community. Well, that's good enough for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
I
more than
feel
good
that.
for us.
Is there, while we're talking about writing process, do you have any process lyrically? Like, how do you approach that?
So I always do the lyrics last.
Right.
The song is written and done.
Which is kind of weird for me. Like, we're still like kind of, I mean, like,
And he gets
he
mad.
actually does very well with it, but it's like,
He likes to have a melody,
I feel like
right?
we could help him out a little bit with it.
Right.
But it's not like a negative thing.
But
It's
I'll
just like
answer
I feel
that.
like we all kind of feel bad.
I'll
Right.
answer
You know,
that.
It's like he's
Don't feel
like
bad,
he has
bro.
the part to write his own part.
Don't
on
feel
the
bad.
guitar
This is my
and try to help
fucking
him.
job. I'm the singer of this band. It's my job to write the words. You know
Right,
what I
yes.
mean? And it's like I never take that as a weight, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that my bandmates. You know what I mean? Like they consciously are always looking to relieve my weight.
Right.
Whether
yeah.
it's we're performing live and it's a 4-hour set and I'm here for fucking 4 hours and
Yeah.
I'm not in the best shape. This is no secret to anyone.
4 hours.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what musician that sings all night for 3 straight hours or 4 straight hours. You
It's
ask them,
fucking
it's not full on professionals. You know,
Yeah.
It's hard as
like
fuck.
this shit's
Yeah.
hard. That shit's
Absolutely.
really hard.
It took me years to get to the point where I didn't lose my voice after a couple of days over the weekend. You know, like
Yeah.
it's
You gotta
re-
learn, man. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
learn what you can do and what you can't do.
These
but-
like leathery folds in here now. They can
Yeah.
handle it, but
Word.
like, it took a while. you
I
know?
smoked Newports for like 3 years because my voice wasn't grainy enough, and I was like, if it's good enough for Paul McCartney, motherfucker, well, I'm gonna do it too. But when it comes to writing lyrics, I always write the lyrics when the song is done because we call the song air quote done as a musical piece when we're all happy with the musical piece.
Okay.
That means that
Yeah.
as it stands, it's fucking great.
Okay.
So my lyrics have to make it better.
And what?
If not, you
do
might
you
as
have
well
any
not
like
put it.
do you have any sort of? Is it always about different stuff, or are there any themes that you seem to
Well,
come
I mean,
back to?
so like you'll see as we are releasing more songs and the copywriting and the trademarking is done. We're just kind of waiting on some other stuff,
Yeah.
but there's songs coming out. But
Loan Sharks.
you'll realize that all the songs are the blank. So like the single that's out right now is The Bandit, and if
Yeah.
you look at the cover art, it's not by coincidence that the guy resembles me.
Right.
In this multiverse of our music, I represent that character.
Okay.
You
yeah,
also have
yeah.
the wolf, you have the vigilante, you have the baron. Each of us represented by this different entity in this other
Okay.
in this other universe. So there's a couple of songs that are like that,
Right.
and each one of our characters, if you will,
Yeah.
is kind of like the main character in their own little realm, right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
stuck in this piece of time, and then at the end, you have this culmination of all of the timelines. This big battle or whatever, you have this big epic song at the end.
That's fascinating.
Besides
That's
that,
really
though, we
cool.
have songs about fighting the voodoo devil in fucking New Orleans.
That's one of
and-
my favorite ones.
No,
actually.
we got all kinds
Pete
of cool
Legba.
songs. It's whatever, man. It's whatever. It's whatever the hell is flying out of my ass that day that I think is cool.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
It's fine.
Totally. Yeah, I don't know if I would be able to say that if I have. You know what? I think when it comes to my lyrics, it generally tends to be stuff I've gone through, and then kind of understand, and then kind of want to get out there.
I get
Like
that.
it's but you know, I don't necessarily write sort of things that aren't connected sort of in some way to my life. Like I have written songs that are just about a subject.
Right.
I always think that they're like not my strongest songs. You know, I always feel personally it has to be like very connected to something I've been through. But that's just me.
That's.
I
I mean,
do.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
No,
that
man.
that's you, and obviously
Yeah,
everybody
yeah.
has their own thing. But you don't have to feel
Well,
like
I
that.
know
man.
I'm like jealous in a way that like, people can separate themselves like that and write something just
Yeah.
as a piece of art. 'Cause
Well,
it's
like
never
we
really
wrote
wo-
a song recently where the whole point of the song was I was like, I do not want to follow a fucking formula. I don't want to write
Yeah.
verse, chorus, bridge, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, Rush made a career out of this shit. Every other
Yeah.
band that we like has done this shit.
Yeah.
Why can we not compose a piece that is from point A to point B instead of follow the formula?
Yeah.
Well, that's
You know
it.
what I
And you know, as a rock band, I don't think that. I mean, it's not like rock is even really represented in the Grammys anymore. So
Absolutely no, it's
so
not.
so
Not
I
even
feel
close.
so I feel like you know, it's almost worth kind of stretching. You probably get more people interested in it if you don't focus too much on it being like a kind of Beatles style kind of 3.5 minute
Yeah,
song.
exactly.
You know, I think it's more
The
probably
crazier
more,
the better at this
exactly.
point,
Don't
yeah.
focus on anything,
Yeah.
bro. Who the fuck are we making music for?
Yeah.
Because I wish that
Anybody in Europe.
I wish I could. I wish I could sit behind this microphone and with a straight face, bro, tell you that I'm making music for every starry-eyed person that's ever existed. But that's not true, bro. I make my music for me.
Yeah.
I make
I
it
feel that.
selfishly for me because I want to be able to one day when I can't stand up and I can't walk and I can't do whatever, I'll be able to listen to those songs and I'll be able to remember that I did that. I did that. No matter what else I did.
That might actually
I
be
did
the
that
new cure
with my
for
with
Alzheimer's. Or some
my
shit.
best
You
friends.
never know, bro.
With my best
Just
friends.
make your own music while you're younger.
I already do
I'm gonna
that.
try it out. I'll let you know how it goes in like 60 years.
See how many mushrooms we can eat between here and there.
Quite a bit.
Well, I know it's definitely good for the brain, just the whole process of music, from just the hand-eye coordination to things like writing songs and things,
All
it's
of it's
really,
good for
really
you.
good. So this is an interesting question, and one that I always enjoy asking musicians, and we get a whole host of different answers. Let's go one at a time. Do you practice these days?
Practice. So,
I should go first.
yeah, I will gladly take this question first. So, like, when I'll answer that by prefacing it with this.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of new young bands, right? And they ask the type of typical questions that you can expect that a new young band would ask, the same way that we did not so many years ago, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I always ask is, well, what are you trying to do with your band? Are you trying to get booked on a XYZ type of basis and just make money to pay your mortgage? Because I could do that.
Yeah.
Best way to do that is fire the rest of your band and buy an acoustic electric guitar and one speaker, and I'll get you booked fucking everywhere.
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Or
yeah.
are you trying to really do something? Are you trying to leave legacy? That being said, if that is something that you're trying to do, one of the first things that you need to make sure throughout your band is that everybody's personal financial situation is in order, because good bands cost money.
Yeah.
They cost money, and if you want to take your band places, well, then you have to know that the money that your band makes has to be for your band, not for you. That's for your band. And the reason that I preface it with all that is that we all have full-time jobs.
Right.
Sons of a Tradesman isn't a name that we pulled out of our ass. Nick, may he rest in peace, our brother. He read that line as an English student that most children in X date were sons of tradesmen, and he always found that interesting.
Right.
So Monday is my day to work and is my day to myself, and Tuesday is the day that we all go to work, and at the end of that day we practice.
Yeah.
And we just actually shirked to practice this past week because him and I are both having shitty work weeks.
Rough,
a shitty work week, but
week. It was
besides
a rough
that,
week.
we hadn't missed a
so
Tuesday in I can't tell you how long.
Right.
So that Tuesday, we use it for whatever it is that we deem the most necessary. If we're trying to learn a new song because it's some type of a theme day that we have to learn this cover song or whatever, it's for that. But generally, we try and use it to write, and we try and use it to record demos. And in that time, I practice myself as a songwriter. And as far as just, practicing my finger work and stuff, I just leave the acoustic within arm's reach of, the bed or whatever. And that's kind of, you just grab it whenever it's there and you're bored.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I bang on about this quite a lot, but after I stopped drinking, I found out I started practicing at home way more. But I think maybe just because, like, I was curious to see like what the effects would be, sort of thing, I was like, but then it ended up becoming a habit, and now I do actually practice more again, which is great. Because for a long time I was like playing, like 3-4 gigs a week, and I was like, and I was
don't
teaching
feel like
all day.
practicing,
Yeah,
so
so
you're
I was,
always playing.
Right. But now I've found
doesn't mean building though.
Yeah, exactly.
At the end of the
Yeah,
day.
he's
Yeah,
maintaining.
just
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah. You're just
moving.
maintaining your
Rinse and
actual set.
repeating.
So like my biggest thing is after about the age of like 27,
Yeah.
if you're gonna practice, I mean me, because I play drums, like I literally just have like a drum pad in front of me on like
Yeah.
a stool. I have my chair that I sit in like right next to my bed. I have my TV. I put on documentaries, and I sit there and do rudiments.
Yeah.
Like maybe
You know,
from like
I often-
like
that's
I eat
interesting.
dinner,
Yeah.
like right next to there. I'll eat dinner, finish
Yeah.
on my plate, throw it over there, and I'll sit there until about like 10 o'clock at night.
That's great.
And I'll just watch
I love to
documentaries.
pick up on that because it's something that I often tell to my students, and I think that some people might think it's a weird thing to tell them, but the one thing is difficult to get students to do is practice, right? So I'm always like, listen, you can sit there and do scales and watch TV at the same time, and why not? You can at least
time
then
to do it.
at least you're practicing,
That's the time to do
Here's
it.
what that
Yeah.
taught me a while ago. I think we had like a show on like a Sunday, and it was a football Sunday, and I play fantasy football. So this is the day I realized, holy shit, I can watch TV as I play
the same
drums
Attack
for
my
the
boys.
show.
Yeah.
And I'm literally like playing drums for like the show, and I'm like I'm like in that like moment of which all of us know what this moment is. It's that moment where like has anybody seen the movie Soul?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you know when he talks about like when you're in that moment
In the zone.
in the zone.
Zone.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in the zone so much. I'm watching my fucking wide receiver get 2 touchdowns, 220 yards, and I'm just like, don't make a face because somebody's gonna know that you're watching TV.
Just keep
And like
playing
Guido,
4-4.
and like
Just keep playing
Guido,
4-4.
Guido like comes up and looks at me. He's like, bro, you rocking right now? I'm like, fuck this band. No.
Hey, check this
I'm
out.
just kidding. No, I love my band so much, but that was a good Sunday. I lost that. I lost that
question
lead.
for you,
That's
interviewer.
good.
But can you not also appreciate that you can practice without picking up your instrument?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Whether you're
I
reading
feel like
or
you guys
studying
can't
or
do it
listening.
better than drummers can, though.
Hey, you know what, bro? Let me just say
I
this
can
on the
listen to a
record.
song like
Fuck drummers.
200 times, and I'll never have to pick up my 6.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. It's
Now, if it's a Beatles song, 20 times I'm good. You let me know when
I
you're
gotta
ready.
be mean
Yeah,
to Ringo,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
He was in the Beatles, Chris.
No, I thank him. I'm going to tell you why
Whether
he's
you
one of
were
the
in
greatest.
the Beatles or not,
It's because
they would've
he
never
made
let
it
you
that
in.
easy. 20 times, I'm good to go.
They would've
That
never
guy's
let Chris in.
that guy. Okay, like in all due respect to Ringo, there's a reason why he's known as one of the greatest drummers of all time because he was one of the greatest studio drummers of all time. He literally got in there, whatever idea that Paul McCartney or Lennon or what's the bassist's name? I always forget his name.
It's Paul McCartney,
Paul
stupid.
McCartney.
Is
yeah.
anything
What's
Paul
the other
McCartney?
guy's name?
Man,
What's the other
that's
one's
why
name?
I said don't let Chris
George
talk.
Harrison and John Lennon.
George Harrison.
My God.
No, but did McCartney play guitar on Yesterday?
He played guitar on a lot of stuff. He played guitar on
Okay,
Black
well,
Sabbath.
then you know what?
like
Take it
all
from the
play a
drummer,
bunch
I
of
didn't
different
know.
instruments in the studio, yeah.
But no, Ringo was the greatest pick of all time to be the drummer of that band.
You know, I don't hate on Ringo. I think he's a cool
hate
guy.
on Ringo.
I think you know, what was he the flashiest drummer of all time?
No.
No, but
He
there's
didn't
some
have
awesome
to
beats.
be.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was
yeah.
what
But
it
he
is.
kept it flashy
yeah.
enough to like keep other drummers just, I mean, an inkling like interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like-
just enough.
As
Like
a,
I'm a singer.
And he
bro.
wrote
Mick Jagger.
Octopus Garden.
oh,
which is
I
one of
love
my
that.
favorite
love
songs.
That song.
Great
Thank
song.
you.
Love that song.
Oh my God, you're probably the first person I've
love
ever
that
heard to
song.
say.
I found out recently that Oh Bloody. I always thought it sounded like a ska song, but I found out recently that Oh Bloody, Oh Bloody was actually written as like a pastiche of a ska song. It was like meant to be like
Did
a
ska
joke.
even exist
it was,
back then?
It was yeah. It was meant.
I refuse to believe this.
No, it's the 60s. Yeah, absolutely.
Ska came out when?
Like the
When Spread the
fifth-
Dub started.
This isn't Joe Rogan. There's no fact check.
Yeah.
This isn't Joe
Where's
Rogan.
Jamie? Somebody get Jamie.
Where's Jamie?
So actually that's a really good
His name's
point.
Justin. He's
I would
quiet
love
right
to.
now.
I'd love to talk to you about Spread the Dub's influence on you guys and you
I would love
guys'
to do
relationship because I know that you
He
guys play
hates
together
them.
a
A
lot.
lot of
hates
love and
them
hate.
all.
A lot of it's all love. It's all love.
It's
bro.
all love, fueled by
It's
hate.
all love.
You were talking to me a lot about them before. Can you give me a little bit of?
Yeah, because you can never say the name of my band without saying the name Spread the Dub. It's impossible. It's impossible because they got us all of our first gigs. They introduced us to all of our first other band friends. They introduced us to the guy that owned the studio. We recorded our first couple of singles, who also happens to be in the band that is also signed to the label that we ended up signing to. Like you cannot mention our band without saying Spread the Dub. And it's something that I'm happy to say and I'm happy to preach, and I'm happy to be in a position now where we can kind of be paying it forward to a degree to have whatever level of notoriety or whatever you want to call it that we do. You know, like we're blessed to be able to, you know, tell venues like, hey, we want this band to open for us. And they're like, yeah, cool, that's fine, whatever you guys say.
That's awesome.
You know, and so we got our first X amount of gigs off of, you know, Keijo's word or Hunter's word or
Right,
Mixed
yeah.
word. Just like, hey, you
Well,
guys.
I
really
love the
book
fact.
these
I love it
guys.
when you guys play the same shows because it's, you know, it's not the same music, but it's two different
But it
vibes.
complements
But
each
both
other,
with very much like there's an ethos behind both of the bands that's very similar, which is, you know, it's like, fuck it, let's have a good time, you know,
Yeah.
and it just
Fuck
comes.
it, let's have a good time. And we bring out the best in each other because it's like them as a ska band, right?
Yeah.
It's like a ska dub band. They have to reach a level of a rock and roll band,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
us.
All day.
And then from our side, it's like us as a rock and roll band has to not get shit on by a ska dub band.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's always quite a bit of pressure whenever we
That's
It's a ton of fucking
play
pressure.
alongside with them.
Yeah.
That being said, I've never had more fun playing with any other band
Absolutely
than that
not.
band.
Yeah.
And I love a lot of the bands that we've ever played with.
None of them like that.
All of them know who they are, but the last one that we did, like, the Matthews Brewing one,
Biblical.
Yeah.
it was like we did like a first set was Spread the Dub. I don't know how the fuck they managed that for them to go on first and then we had to go on second.
Oh man.
And
yeah,
I was
that's
just like,
sneaky.
dude, like I want to just go first so I can get drunk and have a good time with my friends.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and the third set, oh my god, third set was everybody all at
both
once,
bands.
and we were switching out drummers, switching out bassists.
Oh, that's great.
The
Sounds
organ
amazing.
player was going from his organs to the guitar.
Oh, that's epic,
Andrew
man.
was singing, Mick
Yeah.
was singing. They were singing together. At one
Yeah.
point, Andrew and I both had tambourines, and we were dancing Spanish music,
Stuff
and
was happening.
not even doing anything, but just dancing Spanish music, drinking Jameson. It was. That's one of those moments that like professional music doesn't do anymore,
Yeah.
and there's
And there's
it
something
was
that
so beautiful that it actually like hurt. Like it kind of hurt me. It's just like,
I
what
feel
the
you.
fuck, dude? Like,
Well, I was
you know,
saying to
this
them when
is
they-
how it should be. You know,
Well, I was saying to them when they came on, and I think it applies again here, which is you shouldn't underestimate the importance of music to just straight up be fun, be like
Yeah.
a release, you know,
100%.
exactly.
a
Yeah, for
release
sure.
from just like life, like it's people can get so up their own rear ends with it, and of course you want it to be good, and of course you want to try your best to make it the most interesting as
Yeah, but if
possible.
it's ever
But a
not
huge
fun.
side of it is just like, let's go out and have a good time and forget about our worries and our troubles. You know?
Those guys
Yeah.
embody that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
they
for sure.
definitely do. And like I said before,
I can never stand in front of enough people
Yeah.
to give Spread the Dove the credit they deserve.
Yeah, man. And just from
I think there's a
from
lot of
knowing
bands
them,
out there
I
that
got
could say
a lot of
that.
respect for them also.
Yeah, good guys, man. We had fun having
1,000%,
them
bro.
on.
Have a big shout out. Hey, but Mick is still a bitch, and he leaves before everybody else leaves all the time. And let me just point that out.
what about that E.R. Bradley show? He stayed late. He stayed pretty late.
Hey, listen, that's one out of a lot of them. I love Mick, but you should hang out more. Don't be like that, Mick. Don't be like that.
I only
I tried, Mick. I'm sorry.
I only heard the term Irish goodbye when I came to America.
You know what? You would almost think that the guy's last name sounded like it was a gold at the end of a rainbow because he disappears like with a quickness. Bro. I was making a big deal to say hi to him when I see him out in public because I know I'm mere seconds away from him vanishing into thin air.
It's a little leprechaun, man.
Yeah, he's good like that. He's good like that.
That's great. So, this next thing is like, obviously, everything that's been going on in the world has sort of thrown a spanner in everyone's works in terms of live music. But do you have future plans? And if so, what are they?
Future plans.
Yeah, like
So we've been planning for a while to do at least a small Florida run, right? Because Florida got to taste freedom before everybody else, right? Because
Yeah.
Florida is the
Freedom
new
is
Texas.
running right now.
Florida is the new Texas.
Yep.
Let it
Florida
be
is
known.
running right now,
I'm
baby.
coming for Texas, bro.
DeSantis, thank you, brother.
I'm coming for Texas.
there you go.
Yeah.
But as school or university, as you fine folk call it, right?
Uni. They call it uni.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
coming back into season. We plan to
Uni, bruv.
go and play all the big university towns with all original sets with another band from down here that I'll shout out real quick. Our boys from 59 Shop.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
Great band. And also
So
our
you're
boys
doing that
from,
in Florida, right? You're
Yeah,
right.
we want to do a Florida run, and then as soon as we're able, Texas and Mississippi were the first states to open up, or was it Texas and Missouri? I saw were the first states to open up.
Cool.
So obviously, the want is to go there. But
Yeah.
as you know, as a musician that's got on the road before, basically you do it by getting from big show to big show by playing on the little shows in the middle.
Right.
Right.
So right now,
There's
while
not a lot of little
it's
shows in the
unknown, you
middle
can't
right
play
now.
the little
Yeah.
shows in the middle.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
tough, but the aspirations of the band are obviously, to travel and tour here in continental U.S. and also get up into Canada and hit our boys in the UK and in the EU and
there you
everything
go.
else. Sorry about the Brexit. That wasn't my fault.
Well, you guys can play. You guys can play. You know, the 3-4 hours, which means that you. Cause one of the things I found difficult in Sonic Boom 6, which is the band I was in the UK, one of the things that was difficult in the beginning was that we were like, you know, like a show band or whatever. Like, you know, we had like 40, 45 minutes of like
Everywhere.
good music,
Banger.
and that's honestly, you know, it would. We ended up playing like hour and a half sets, but in the early years, more like 45 minutes, and like as a result, you know, it was either we played sort of on multiple. We played on a lot of multiple bills, and there wasn't a lot of money going around unless we were headlining. But you know, since I've been in the US with Killbillies and to a lesser extent No Name Scar Band, you know, we built ourselves up a 3-hour set so we can pay those gigs to get money. And
now
one
we're
of the ways you can
multi-millionaires.
tour, if you can
Yeah.
do that, is you can do your original shows, but then you can just pop in a few money makers in between. You know,
Gas and pay for the hotel.
Yeah,
And that
yeah,
was so.
Totally worked.
Actually, I will squeeze in like a fun fact about us that you didn't really. I mean, it's a really weird situation on how we like got started with it. We originally started this band off of us actually just doing covers.
right,
Yeah,
This was
never
never
gonna
supposed to be
thing.
like
Yeah, it wasn't gonna be
a thing.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so we started off just like trying to do covers, and I want to say like we were like even still playing like some of the shit that we do now is kind of crazy.
Yeah, but listen, it's not called shit. There's still people watching that pay us to play. So
I mean, I say shit, but I mean it's still
But good
the
shit.
still
Yeah,
goes,
good shit.
Good
hard
shit,
in the
man.
paint.
Best
Good
shit.
Yeah.
It still goes
Yeah,
hard in
there
the
you go.
paint. But no, like that was. I mean, we did not think that it would ever get to this point.
Yeah,
Never.
That's fantastic.
no,
That's
it
really
was
good.
it was
Even
never
our first couple of shows, like any real band, they were nightmares. Nightmares.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hey, I have to switch out my beard. Tell them about Miss and her husband.
Oh, dude. Ready?
That's
So
the best one.
Sons of
One
Betrayal.
of my favorite stories
my
about us.
my first band, which I'm very proud to say, my first band, and will forever be my only band.
Yeah, man.
But we played our first couple of shows at this, like it was kind of almost like a Shriners Club, is the Fraternal Order of the Eagles, where we played our first couple of shows. You know what I mean? It's like one of these places where you pay like a monthly membership, whatever, and they give you like duty prices on the alcohol. You know,
Okay.
the alcohol is super
Like
cheap.
a kind of Mason type.
Yeah, Mason
Yes,
type deal
yeah,
or
yeah.
Moose Lodge
Yeah,
type
yeah,
of
yeah, I
shit.
gotcha.
You know what I mean? So, we're like, hey, it's old timers, and we play old timey rock and roll. They love this shit. But old timers, some of them have sensitive hearing, bro. And it was like our second gig ever.
Yeah.
And we're playing, you know, and we think we're crushing, and like we look at the corner of the bar, and there's like this husband and wife couple there. And the wife has 2 full-on fucking dinner napkins, bro. I'm not talking cocktail napkins that are of a respectable size. I'm talking full-on Thanksgiving motherfucking dinner napkins, bro. Like, out to here, both sides.
Amazing.
And like, you know, like pointing looks like, are you having a good time? And he's like,
No.
no, having a bad time.
The funniest part about this
man.
about her husband, he was actually he had hearing aids
Had a
in.
good time. Turn them
He had
bitches
hearing
down.
aids in, and she's like fussing with him. She's yelling at us, and he's just like looking at her like, I can't hear anything. Who fucking
Yeah, them
cares?
turned down.
Yeah,
He knew what was
exactly.
happening.
There you go.
Great times. Great
So
times.
We're really looking forward to having you play up at Handlebars. I'm really looking forward to that.
Listen, anywhere where there's motorcycles, there should be rock and roll. So
Yeah, May
so-
13th. Yeah.
May
So-
13th.
Yeah.
It's a good Thursday.
Yeah,
Good
it's
Thursday
coming
day
up.
to come and get buck wild at Handlebars, and I'm stoked to be there for the first time, especially doing something for Ben Childs.
Yeah. I tell you what, the my father-in-law reopened this bar, and you know I've been helping him do it. I've been helping book the bands, and for right at the beginning we were business partners in it. I ended up sort of choosing music again over it because I thought to myself, you know, well I don't want to be stuck behind a bar all day every day, and music's my thing, you know, as a teacher and everything. But I'm still really involved in helping him run the place, and you know, just especially in terms of the entertainment, and it's just so awesome that you guys are going to come up and grace the place with your presence. It's going to be
Grace,
sick.
bro. Like,
I'm very excited.
They're gonna blow the roof
It's gonna
off the
rock,
place.
I'm
man.
very excited for that.
The band Creed and Chris will back me up on this. The band
Creed?
Creed, damn. Hey, listen. First of all, let me
don't
stop.
put that in your microphone next
Let me
to me.
stop. Let me stop.
Okay.
The band Creed is fucking terrible. Now that I've said that,
We can move forward.
That's
the band motto
Yeah.
has always been you play for 5 like you play for 5,000. Doesn't matter how big the room is, man. Even if there's only one person there, that one person, that's their free time, bro. That's their life. They could've
Yeah.
chosen
Oh, yeah,
to
for
do
sure.
No,
anything
yeah, for sure.
with that
man.
amount of time.
Absolutely.
And they thought that the best way to spend it was to come and see you.
Yeah.
Do your thing, bro.
Yeah.
And
that-
forever and ever and ever. And I try and make this a big point anytime or anywhere. Like we were playing in Fort Lauderdale maybe a month or so back for spring break.
Yeah.
And so we got to spend the day just fucking around Fort Lauderdale
Ooh.
Beach. Yeah, we got a tour of it. It was terrible. but we went.
I know
We
what
actually
that's
did a
like.
very
Full-
good
tour
job
full
We
of
that
didn't
full
play
night.
gigs
until
for
like
sure.
11 o'clock at night. We had all day. You know, check out at the hotel was 10:30 a.m. and then
Yeah.
11 o'clock at night we had to play. Like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna get hammered and we're gonna go on the beach. And we're
I
gonna
ended up
fuck
getting a
people.
tattoo.
Hey,
I
you
was
got
like,
a
fuck it. I
tattoo,
was like,
yeah.
well, whatever.
Shit was happening.
No
but
regrets.
we were crossing the street at one point, right in front of where that big like opening in the Fort Lauderdale beaches, like where the big walls are.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like- and we were walking into Pervandy Brothers to get a sandwich. And there was just people walking around and taking pictures, and the sun was out, and the birds are chirping and everything. And I stopped the guys as we were crossing the street and told them to look around. It's like, look at where you are. Like, people work their whole life, like working their fingers to the bone, hoping to come here on a vacation. And this is where we live. And not only do we live here, we're getting paid to go somewhere tonight and act like fucking pieces of garbage. That's literally what we get paid for, man. And people love it. And, so for anybody that gets paid to play an instrument anywhere, just like remember that when you leave that show that night, there's somebody that's driving home wishing that they were you. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
That's actually really like.
that's worth something,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. That's actually.
worth
I like how you put that because there's been plenty of times. There's been plenty of times where I've played in various bands where we're playing to a room with 3 people and 2 of them are the bartenders. And I have had those moments though where it's just like, oh god, this night needs to end. It's so dead. It's whatever. But like listening to how you put it though, man, that's a really good.
Inspirational.
I'll play my
That's a-
best fucking show for
That's a
3 people,
really
bro.
Yeah.
really good way to put it, man.
Yeah.
They don't deserve any less of you.
No, you're
I 100%
absolutely right.
agree
It's
with
not
that.
their fault that there's not 50 other people there,
What
man.
does that have to do with them?
Absolutely,
Exactly.
absolutely
What does that have to do with
nothing. No, that's a really good way of putting it. Man. I like that.
I feel like if more people approach their shit like that, what does it really boil down to, man? Is a sense of pride in your work.
Yeah,
And,
100%.
and that-
I agree with that. And honestly, at this point, I've played so many shows that I pretty much do.
Insane amount of shows.
I approach them the same way because I've had friends and relations and stuff be like come to see me and be like, oh, it wasn't many people there. Like, it's almost like they sort of feel bad for me. But I'm like, dude, they're paying me. And B, I'm playing the guitar and singing, which is what I want to do the entire time anyway. You know what I mean?
We had a show not long ago. Is at Brick and Barrel. We were playing, and there was literally 1 or 2 people sitting at the bar, and then a couple of bartenders, and that was pretty much it. And then one guy comes up with this beer. He's standing in front of us. He stands right in front of Ben. He's 3 feet from Ben. And he's the only guy in this whole dining room area or whatever. And I don't even know what we were playing, but it wasn't like a real rockin' song. Like we were playing something pretty mellow. And this guy's pumping his fist.
going,
yeah!
Oh, that's great.
And I
love
look
that.
at Ben thinking like,
Yeah,
this guy's nuts. But I look at Ben, and Ben just has this giant grin. Like, he was just
that's
happy
great.
that guy was
That's
happy,
great.
man.
Bro, that's the guy that you are playing for right there.
was great.
Forget everybody else. Okay, so
Yeah.
like I do this thing where like Andrew like finds like that love. He like finds it in very like odd or weird places. The one guy that I look like whoever it is, like the person is losing their fucking minds, and I'm like, that's where all my energy is coming from.
Yeah, man.
Right there. As long as
Yeah.
I can keep them like that the rest of the show, I'm golden.
Yeah.
And like my thing is, okay, yeah, so like one thing I do have to say, because we said a lot of crazy shit here,
Says you.
do not think that you could just be drunk as fuck and go and play music, though, because that's not a good
That is a
idea.
thing that happens.
I've learned my lesson way too many times because of that.
Oh, I hear that.
But
Yeah,
at the same time,
I've learned my lesson. I learned my
Yeah.
lesson like 1,000 parts. I had to bounce along the bottom for years, but yeah, you know.
did you guys ever learn like a regiment? Like I have my own regiment. He's heard my regiment
I
before,
also know my
but like
regiment.
I know my because we play
You
like
got a
so
limit?
many 3-hour,
Just like we know
4-hour
what we're allowed
gigs.
to drink
I know
before
how
we
much I'm allowed to drink,
Yeah.
and if I'm allowed to drink before the show.
Yeah.
No.
Do you guys have a regiment?
I've never over the years I've never been a big drinker, and now with Ben's sobriety, I just choose not to drink at our shows at all.
Got
you know, to kind of support him. But
Yeah, well, I'd never, like, you know, I really want to make it clear that I at no point have ever asked anyone not to drink or anything like that.
no,
no,
that's my choice.
Hector and James just decided that they were going to not drink as well, which means that it's quite a weird dynamic. Because I've spent my entire adult life playing music when everyone's drinking, and so now we don't drink at shows, and actually after the first couple you get used to it, and then you're like, "It's fine."
Yeah.
You know?
I
Yeah,
remember
right?
seeing you guys somewhere and like
Yeah, third
asking
and
if I
third.
could buy you a round of drinks.
Yeah,
And you're like,
it was
"No,
third
we
and
don't
third.
drink."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, well, can I get you guys appetizers? And they're like, yeah,
Well,
for sure.
chicken
Yeah,
wings?
yeah.
Well,
Eat
yeah,
all the snacks.
Yeah, I don't drink. I don't drink really in Killbillies now. And any other band I was in before, I would have a few beers. I wouldn't get hammered, but I would have a few beers. But I never, if I drank before I played or while I played, it was like a beer to take the edge off and be able to get up and
Exactly,
whatever. 'Cause,
yeah,
I still
yeah.
get little stage jitters or whatever, But that was it. I never really. I can't remember a whole lot of times that I was hammered and was playing. I mean, it
Oh,
wasn't.
yeah?
It just
I've
yeah.
tripped on
Well, I
that.
thought I was relying on my natural talent and just and get and like
And get it done.
yeah, but I mean, it's in truth, I know I was just playing badly.
Can I ask you guys a question as our interviewers?
Yeah.
So it's like it's obviously that we've made our waves and our brand right on a certain amount of things. And one thing that baffles me with the band is like a lot of times people will be shocked by like my point of view on things, right? Or like what I have to say about any given type of thing, and how that's not the PC type of approach to whatever it is that I'm talking about.
Right.
To which my response is rock and roll not supposed to be inherently offensive?
Well, I would say that
To a degree.
I would say that certainly can be an aspect of it, and if that's the aspect of it that you choose to run with, then I can't see any problems with that.
I'm not choosing to run with anything. I'm just saying that once upon a time, guys were throwing fucking televisions out of the 13th story window of places, and now I'm the outlaw of the year because I own a copy of fucking Green Eggs and Ham. You know what I mean? I think it's weird.
Now, I see where you're going with this, and my answer would be that is rock and roll meant to be offensive? I think what it was meant to do was challenge sensibilities
Exactly.
at a certain time, not necessarily just be offensive, but
Not
and maybe
offensive without reason.
right, exactly,
Yeah,
and
just to be
yeah,
mean.
Rock and
yeah,
roll's
yeah.
always been anti-establishment, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
That's
back
like
in
how
the
it
day,
was
like
supposed to be started.
pretty much anything that wasn't church was offensive, so it wasn't that difficult either. You know what I
True,
mean?
true,
Like
true.
it's like
that'll show the
people
sexy ankle.
going out to watch teenage girls going out to watch Chuck Berry, and and like
My
and getting
man.
turned on by him, and
My man Chuck Berry.
you know,
Or
and
I
Elvis,
love that
Like they
guy.
could only show
It-
him from the chest up because they didn't want to show him gyrating on TV
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Craziness,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Craziness.
And I mean, that I think that all of that was kind of part and parcel with the sort of cultural kind of social awakening and everything like race relations and everything. It was all
I
boiled
feel
into
like
that
that's
stuff.
where we're at now. I feel like that's
Yeah.
where we're at now. We're at this point of where, you mentioned things like race relations, something that was so prominent in the 60s, again, so prominent today.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I talk about the branding of the band and everything else, it's like, everybody likes to be classified these days. Right? It's
Yeah.
like you fit into A group, B group, or C group. And it's like the band to me has always been for the C group. Where it's like you just don't even fucking really give a shit, bro. You just want to have a good time and you want to go to work. And
I feel that. And
you want to have a good family and live your little American dream. You just want to have a good time.
I know that, like, because we're backing and forthing all the time on social media and stuff, and we don't necessarily see 100% eye to eye on some certain things, but the greater part of it we do, and honestly, that's all that matters to me.
You want to have a good time.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you realize that the majority of people are good people.
Yeah.
Majority of people that you meet are not, whether they oppose what it is that you hold near and dear to you, they're not bad people, bro.
I feel like that it's just the last 5 years have been so polarizing, and it's just been exhausting.
Insanity. It's a hard time to be a musician, bro, because it's like
It's better to be a rapper.
Dude,
You're
honestly, it's the best
allowed
time
to
to
say
be
whatever
a
you
DJ.
want if
Let's
you
be
do
real.
rap.
Right.
Best
But
time to be a
as
DJ.
a singer, like in a rock band.
Yeah, being
God
a
forbid.
DJ is tight as fuck. I should have
Yeah.
done that.
Yeah.
You guys want to be bassist in a
Yeah,
previous
you
life?
can drop ecstasy on anybody's mouth.
In
you
a
want.
different life, bro, I'm showing up with a flash drive and a space bar.
Some of those guys
him playing.
bank
It's over.
for
Oh, it is
spinning
insane
records,
what
man.
they're what they're
Insane.
able to do.
Hey, but listen, good for
Dude,
them.
they
I'm not
make
hating.
a lot
Good
of
for them.
money. They make a lot of
I'm
money.
not
But like,
hating, make
here's
your
the
money.
thing: is that
Right,
America loves them
well,
and
that's the
Europe
truth,
loves
isn't it?
them.
At the end
If
of the
you
day,
have
all of
those
this stuff
two,
is kind of
you're good. If you have America and Europe trying to do like world tours with you, dude, you're all set.
Well, you want to,
it's probably time you guys played us this song.
yeah.
Oh, let's do it.
Beautiful. Hey, listen,
ready for
I
it?
came very ready with limber fingers to play an excellent song. Here we go,
Yes,
boys.
fella.
Do that.
Not about you.
Yeah.
First of three lonesome boys, I can't feel no love, can't feel no joy, but I got to move, got to leave here soon, got to put this life in my rear view. And if I only get to say one thing, better hope forevermore that they remember my name. They gon' talk they shit through they busted lip. You best not forgive, brother. Come my way. Yeah, you know what I say. Run away, yeah. Don't nobody try to save me. Go my name. Ain't nobody gonna bring me down. In the dead of noon, 6 gun in my hand. Came behind me, no one-man band. So if you at the door, stick 'em up. Bags on the ground now, can't pick 'em up. Feel them tight so you can't get it off. In the back room, got a blast suit, I'm a bad dude. Dust settle, all blasting high middle. Heads to the ground, try escaping now. Start to running. So if you show me that cash, copper, you know what I say. Run away, yeah. Don't nobody try to save me. Go my name. Ain't nobody gonna bring me down. Said I'm running. Can't catch me now. Ooh, there goes some glassy hill. They hide in my where they hide my You really thought I'd drop to the knees, started dropping bodies as soon as the coppers asked me to freeze. Now I'm mounting up, Roddy Rider saddle up towards the sunset with guns west and a knife to her. No more nightmares of the crown, no more old man to go down, no more time for walk around trying to call me crazy. They fucking love to hate me. So if you come my way, brother, you know what I say. Run away, yeah. Don't nobody try to save me. Call my name. Ain't nobody gonna bring me down. Hope you guys are enjoying the 561 podcast. That's 561 Live. We're sons of a tradesman.
All right, Hector, we've got a few sponsors this week. Could you tell us all about them, please?
Yeah, man, I'm actually pretty happy. We have several sponsors this week. So our first sponsor is Rude Boys Remedy. You know, we all get to spend a lot of time with our pets this last year, and you know, we want to make sure they're living their best lives and stuff. So if your pet's got anxiety, joint pain, if they get scared with thunderstorms or loud noises, like my German Shepherd does, he freaks out at storms. You know, give them a little bit of relief with Rude Boys Remedy. It's nature's best CBD, grown and bottled here in the USA. It is a few drops is all it takes. It's good for dogs. It's good for cats. They'll love the bacon flavor. And every bottle does come with a batch number and lab analysis report, so you know exactly what you're giving your pet and your best friend. Yeah, yeah, that's what Mick was telling us. So give them some relief. Check out RudeBoysRemedy.com if you're tired of your pet having all the fun. They now have CBD for humans at RudeBoysRemedy.com. So available in orange flavored and unflavored. And again, just a few drops. You can put it in your cocktail or your ramen noodles or whatever you'd like to put it on, man. Yeah, man. Find them at social media at Rude Boys Remedy. Or RudeBoysRemedy.com and place your orders. So yeah, man, CBD you can get all hammered with your dog.
Damn.
Good stuff.
Like
Loosen up those
Friday
joints.
night.
Right?
Who else we got?
Right. So our second sponsor tonight is Handlebars, and you want to tell us a little bit about Handlebars?
Sure. Yeah. So Handlebars is it's a little biker bar in Tequesta. Which is just north of Jupiter in Palm Beach County. It's got a lot of history, and it's famous with bikers around the world in its previous incarnation as Judy's. But the new owners, which is my family, have kept the feel and the vibe of the place while upgrading the quality of the food and the drink. And from its bike nights that fall every second Thursday of the month, and we've got the... these guys, Sons of a Tradesman, playing on the 13th.
Oh, yeah.
To its daily great food and drink and cool atmosphere. Handlebars is a destination bar for anyone who owns a bike. And even if you don't ride, you're welcome to come and soak in the vibe with nice cold beer. Go online and check the place out at www.handlebars-bar-and-grill.com. Or find us on Facebook to keep up with events and find out about bookings and menu items.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, man.
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a show. I will definitely be there unless this slave driver that I have in my band books us for that night. But,
oh, yeah.
Whoever that might be.
I can only imagine what his name is.
And then our third sponsor is actually a very fun sponsor. It's our friend Kat.
Yeah, that's right.
And ironically, Kat has a bird, and the bird's name is Jameson. Which is a fantastic bird name.
Jameson has some pretty important stuff to say.
Jameson has sponsored our show, and Jameson says birds because they're awesome and they're not government drones. So that is Jameson's message, and thank you, Jameson, for sponsoring the show. So I just want to remind everybody, if you are watching, graphics have been splashed up on the screen. It's got all the information, etc. On our YouTube channel. It'll have in the show notes. It'll have all the links to all of our sponsors. If you go to our website, 561music.com, or if you're listening on the podcast, all the show notes will have all the links to all of our sponsors, and we want to thank our sponsors profusely for helping us make this happen. I mean,
honestly, it's such a help because it costs us to make this thing, and if we didn't have a bit of help, I don't know if we would be able to continue doing it forever. So everyone who sponsors it is really making this show happen. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. I mean, this is episode 7, and it's amazing that we've gotten this far already. And I just, the sky's the limit. We're booked out for several months already with different bands, man. So I'm excited to keep going. So thank you to all the sponsors.
Absolutely.
So welcome back, gentlemen, from playing some stuff for us here.
Shit. Thank you.
Can you give us a little bit of back history on the Bandit and what the song is about?
Yeah, man. So the Bandit was actually the first tune, right? That's my tune, and in our multiverse, the Bandit is my character, which is why if you pull up the single, striking resemblance myself and the Bandit. But
Very, very tall, sexual man, just kicking open like a beautiful Western bar.
Beard like a Persian
Dude,
god.
oh
like
my
a
God,
sun.
dude, like
Rugs on the side of
beard like a
beeline.
Persian rug.
That's right.
So give us a little bit of an insight into some of the lyrics in it.
So the Bandit, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about the song starts the first of 3 lonesome boys, right? You know, so it's like when I first started the band, or I had aspirations of starting the band, I was in college. I was living up in Ohio, and I had a white collar job, you know, a suit and tie type job, which I enjoy, but it wasn't really my vibe.
Right.
And so I prepared to move myself back down to Florida, and I hit up Nick and PJ, and I was like, hey, I want to start a band. So the initial group before we met Chris was just myself, the initial guitarist, and our brother Nick that played bass. So I was the oldest of the 3. You know, it was like my thing, and I did play big brother in that like group of friends. And so the whole song is just kind of about like this character, you know, and he kind of, as opposed to the Baron, who's the brother character, who's represented by Nick, who, you know, as a firstborn, you have your right to the throne.
Sure.
Which in many ways, right, as a firstborn to an immigrant family, a Cuban family, you know, that's your throne to take. And I always felt, you know, as being the person in the position in that family, as like the first naturally born person, you know, you have a lot of big ideals to live up to. You know, all the sacrifice of your family.
I can relate.
Is right, as I'm sure that you can.
Yeah.
You know, that it's up to you to fulfill this American dream.
In fact, I have a lot of I have to admit I have a lot of guilt because I'm the firstborn son of my parents, and I moved away, you know. It kind of sometimes that makes me a little bit sad. Like I feel like I should be there looking after.
Why does it
them.
make you feel sad, bro? You live in Florida.
Right,
And you're a
true.
musician
God's
for
country.
a living.
Nothing to be,
You know what I mean?
sad
It's
about
like
that.
it's like, and like I mentioned earlier, that any night after a Killer Billy show, there's somebody that's sitting in their car wishing they were Ben Childs. You know what I mean?
Right on, man.
And it's like you can never forget.
Having Ben
It's usually
Child.
me, though. It's usually me driving home going, God, I wish I was Ben.
Oh,
Hey, you know what I mean? I get it.
God.
But the point is that musicians of any scale have to realize, man, that's a way that you carry it. That's a responsibility that's bestowed upon us that we should take seriously.
Yeah, right on.
As
Yeah.
musicians, that you never know what kid is watching you play, man. You never know who's out there watching you play.
Ain't that the truth? You know, that really is, and like people have told me that before, and it's true. You know, you never know who's watching you. Even if there's 4 or 5 people in the bar, there might be a real music head in there who's just listening to every note you play and taking notes. Or there might be someone in there who's just had a terrible week and is just looking for something to kind of give them a bit of a lift.
Make 'em feel good, man.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
make it feel good. And we get to be those guys. Is that not the fucking coolest thing?
It certainly is.
Is that not the
Absolutely.
best
It
thing, man?
is
Yeah.
what
You know?
makes me run for sure.
when we
I wasn't supposed to be doing shit like this. Like the fact that like I'm actually able to like go out and play. Like people coming out to me and being like, "Dude, like you're fucking awesome." I'm like, "You're fucking."
It's a good
awesome.
feeling,
Right,
isn't
right.
it?
You're
It's the best
fucking
feeling.
awesome.
It's the
Yeah,
best
yeah.
feeling. And I hope that everyone that plays down here just realizes that feeling is worth something, and that you owe it to the people that come to see you to give them the best of you, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right on, man.
Always.
Yeah, you know, I can't hear that enough, and it's great. It's great to be reminded. I appreciate that you preaching this message, because it's a good one. It's a strong
It's
one.
fucking
you know?
important.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have a picture of your pedal board. Can you tell us about it?
Oh my God, is the picture gonna come up on the screen?
Look
There
at
you
that.
go.
There's
There
my
you go.
there's my
Why don't you tell us a
pedal.
little something about it?
Yeah.
All right, so let's take you from the right to the left-hand side. You see the Vox wah, because Jimi Hendrix a fucking mother. You know what I'm saying? The Vox
Oh,
wah. Got my tuner at the top of my chain, but what I really want to focus on is forget everything else. I want to focus on these 2 black pedals.
Yeah, you
on
were
the
telling me about
bottom
them.
middle
And we're not talking
of
about
my
Jameson.
board. And let me start this whole conversation by saying first name Jamie.
Yeah.
Last name Rasso.
Dude, this
Yeah.
guy's great. Yeah,
Okay,
man.
this guy is some other type of freak. He lives out here locally. He's in the Wellington area, for those of
Yeah.
you that are interested. And he made me both of those pedals.
I always bump into him in the amp shop.
Dude, he's incredible. So the
He's
first
great.
pedal, the one on the left, if you're looking
Yeah.
at the two black pedals in the bottom middle of my board, the one on the left next to the hot wax, that's a custom fuzz.
Okay.
So I always have been I've been on this course for great fuzz.
Yeah.
And one of the issues that I always had is that it just like terribly compressed my sound and like
Yeah, I know what you mean.
all of my tone. Like as soon as I kicked my just
Yeah.
castrated my whole tone.
I totally understand what you mean.
You understand where
Yeah,
I'm coming from?
yeah.
So like I told him, I was like, I gave him he asked me for bands when he was making for me the pedal. He was like, well, give me some bands that you like their fuzzy sound.
Yeah.
And I only gave him one band, which was Clutch. I was
Okay.
like, I really
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Clutch's fuzz. Right? Clutch is pure attitude.
Yeah.
And I was like, but when he hits it, this thing's just got this massive motherfuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This fuzz pedal. And he gave me that there. Then that pedal on the right of that one to the left of the Vox pedal, the black pedal, got the three knobs and a little flicky switch.
Mm-hmm.
A flicky switch. So that one, I had him clone me a Walrus Audio Iron Horse, which is like a distortion and overdrive pedal.
Okay, I've heard of those.
Which
yeah.
I was actually gifted by Hunter Hutchings of Spread the Dub.
Yeah.
Because they're not allowed to use cool sounding pedals in reggae bands, you know what I mean? And so, but the thing is that the pedal only had 2 volumes, and that was Church Band and Fuck Your Mother. Those are the two volumes the pedal had.
Right.
But I love the tones that it had. Like it really made use of pushing the front end, like the headroom of my amp.
Yeah.
But you
Really
get that
cool.
really like nasally crackle. Like at
Yeah,
the top
yeah.
of your bends
Yeah,
and shit, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
It's very inherent to like British rock and roll.
Absolutely.
It's just like it sounds like it has
That's
a
my.
terrible.
That's where I'm at.
yeah, it's
that's
like
my,
sinus infection noise.
Yeah, I
you
know
know
what
what
you
I
mean.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just like breaking up and
I don't know
cracking.
anything about this.
Yeah, no, shut
The drummer's
fuck up.
looking
This
at
is
us
for the
like, I
guitar
have no
player.
idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So
let's talk
that-
about China cymbals.
Okay, listen. Let's be quiet. That's my shitty pedal board on the screen still. That's that one. That's that one. Above that, the blue pedal is my Clarksdale Wampler pedal, which is basically is what substitutes my regular Tube Screamer. So it's like a Tube Screamer clone, right? Because everybody and their mother clones a Tube Screamer.
Yeah.
Except I have a 3-band EQ, which is super nice.
Okay.
And I can really cock that the middle band EQ, and I get this awesome like Hendrix open wah sound.
Oh.
Super great for that.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I
Super
got
nice.
you. Yeah, yeah.
You can
yeah.
really do a lot with that
You
pedal,
gotta pop
man.
out in a solo for that, for sure.
Yeah, but you can
yeah.
also do like really big, bright, shimmery, like 12-string, like Eagle sounding
Okay.
shit
Wow.
on there. It's really great. The hot wax pedal on the bottom left,
Yeah.
I use the right side basically as a solo boost,
Right.
and the left side I don't use at all because it's garbage. So if you
Right.
buy one of those, you use the right side only.
Sorry, Hot Wax.
Yeah, sorry,
not
sorry,
getting
Electro
sponsored today.
Harmonix.
Damn it, we lost that
And
sponsorship.
then top left, that pedal right there, I pay like $40 for that. All the way on the top left, that mint green colored one
Yeah.
is my TC Harmonix analog delay.
Right.
And one of our singles, The Wolf, is actually super based around
Oh,
the
yeah,
day that I
you know
got
what?
that
Yeah.
pedal. I wrote that song the day that I got that pedal.
Right.
I was fucking around my delays. But one of the cool things about
Thank you,
it,
Hot Mint.
right? One of the cool things about it is on the left-hand side, it has like a interval setting for the interval in the break of time
Yeah.
that it serves you its delay, whether it's at 3/16 or 1/16 or whatever
Yeah.
the other thing is of the beat per minute. And so I get to put these big like gaps in the time, and I can also dial it back and use it as a slap back.
Yep.
And it's a super cool pedal, and just one that I picked up for like $45, and just works amazingly.
You got a lot of different types. This is a different board than other people we've had in here because you got a lot of different shades of fuzz and distortion.
Andrew's
You know,
a
that-
different type of guy, man.
All of them just fucking make loud, unholy noise.
He's a weirder one, man. And honestly, I thank him to death for that fucking hot mint green, whatever the fuck that
yeah,
thing is.
because it wrote
I don't know
some
what
of
it
our
is.
songs.
Yeah, that's
No,
what-
but that wrote the song that like we kind of like him and I kind of constructed ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't know if you, like obviously we've been talking about the Bandit this whole time.
Yeah.
But him and I actually constructed for the most part the Wolf, which is my song.
Right.
Like, it was a little bit of all of us, but it was kind of Andrew's first part and my, like, kind of tinkering with it towards the end of it.
Okay, cool.
Getting everything together.
That's cool.
And, oh, my God. Like, if it wasn't for that fucking pedal, like, dude, like, this shit probably wouldn't have
I
gone
tell you what,
together.
a new piece of gear can be so creative
changes a
sometimes.
lot of
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah. Just you get a new guitar, you like write a song like straight away. You know what I mean?
1000%. That's how I
Yeah,
felt
yeah.
when I
It's
got my
crazy,
orange.
too, like,
Yeah.
it's crazy, too. Like, I
big
want to say,
time.
like, maybe, like, the first show that we ever played it in, like, so, like, we play, like, out so many different places, like, you know, doing the covers and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's, like, every once in a while, we can't really keep track on, like, where we play all the originals. So it's kind of weird that we'll play, like, at third and third, and we have, like, one, you know, enough time for, like, one song left. We play the last song, which, if anybody's ever seen us before, they know what song that is. It's Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
So we'll play it, and
With
somebody
that
yells out,
weird
like,
timing
the
intro.
wolf. Somebody yelled out. Somebody yelled out not that long ago, the wolf. And for some reason, it's been happening ever since that day. At the
hear
end of
somebody
it,
yell out
somebody
the name of
yells
your
out the
song.
wolf.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
cool.
not always
That's
the
really
same
cool.
person. I know the first person that ever did it, but like I've noticed it about like two or three
Person we
times
pay to
now.
come to every show.
Right.
Yeah. The wolf. Yeah. It's like, oh shit. What did he say? The wolf.
Just
Yeah.
keep saying it.
Yeah.
No, we
No.
just
That's your
speed up
mom,
the name
man.
of every
Yeah,
show.
my
mom's
my
got
mom.
It's your mom
No,
coming
my,
out to this
my
show.
mom came to one show and she has been back since.
We terrified her.
Scared her away.
I love that one
Hey,
woman
but
so much.
Speaking,
But
speaking of terrifying people, bro, listen, we're very happy to be the first representation of local rock and roll.
Oh, for
on the
sure.
Yeah,
561 Live podcast, bro.
you guys are amazing.
man.
Thank you so much.
So there's a lot of reggae dub up to now. So
Well, it's true, and you know, it's
a South Florida thing,
It's
man.
absolutely nothing to do with
For sure.
a decision that we made. It was just, you know, we were going through all the bands that are decent and doing a lot of stuff around here, and there's a lot of reggae bands down here.
hey,
you know?
listen, a lot of the good ones are reggae bands.
Yeah.
It's
And,
just-
It's
but
just a
it's-
South
yeah.
Florida thing. It's just
Yeah.
because it's reggae, but it's South Florida reggae.
It's South Florida reggae.
It is
It's
very
different.
South
Because
Florida.
West Coast reggae is hella different, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
and also, I think you know, I've got a bit of a history with ska and reggae, so I think that subconsciously, I seem
That's
to,
okay.
I seem to like warm towards that. You
No, it's
know?
okay. Listen,
okay,
hey,
we forgive
hey,
you.
listen. This level of rock and roll is a hard pill to swallow, so I understand. Like episode 6.
Well,
or
no, I
whatever.
love it, and that's why I love looking at that pedal board, because you know it's like there's like 3 or 4 different types of fuzz and distortion. That's what you're going for, is like different ways to go to really
Yeah,
hit.
different
you know?
ways to go fuck yourself.
Told you earlier. Black
That's
Sabbath.
what it is.
Black Sabbath.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
man.
cool, man. All right, let's
Yeah, well,
let's
let's
wrap
talk
it
about
up,
these
man.
dates.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's thank you guys for being on the show, and
Thank you.
if anybody who's listening or watching wants to catch Sons of a Tradesman this weekend, Saturday, they are sharing the stage with Fall Victim at Matthews
Oh,
Brewing.
hell yeah. It's
That's
going to be a
in
great time.
Lake Worth, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. You guys playing that outdoor stage they have there?
Outdoor
yeah,
stage.
it's brand
yes.
new. It's
Beautiful.
all new and
Have you-
badass.
have you
I've
been
seen
there
it.
yet?
I haven't actually.
I would
played
love
on
to
it, but
get
I've
the
seen it, yeah.
Kibbles
Oh,
to
you
play
guys-
there, but
you
they're
guys
booked
gotta
until
play
the
there.
end of eternity.
Oh no, we'll sort it out.
We
like,
will make it happen.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
We'll make
You
it
know,
I
happen.
want
I-
to play a show with the Killbillies, bro.
Earlier
yeah,
today,
bro,
earlier
that'd be
today, I was
fucking sick.
thinking,
Please,
next
let's do
time
that.
next time that you offer me whatever it is we have on the day, I'm just gonna reschedule that thing because it's been too many times now. We just need to get it done.
Because you want to know what it is, man. I hope that you appreciate this. Is like as local musicians and good ones, respectively, right? You know, our bands are busy, which
Sure,
we're,
yeah.
which
Sure.
we're blessed, right? It's like we don't get to go out often and see the
Yeah.
bands that we want to
That
see.
is the truth.
Yeah.
So it's like the easy way to fix that.
yeah,
It's just
And
play
then you
together.
just like book a show
It's just
with a
play
band you
together.
want to see,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
play together, and then it's over.
yeah.
When you equally have like a musician and a businessman in the band, this shit actually kind of happens quite a bit.
I want to
It
make
does
it
happen
work for
quite
me,
a
bro.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd like
yeah.
to see
We
some
end up
bands that I like.
getting lucky enough to have bands
Yeah,
come
And I
come
love
play with us.
Killbillies,
so.
bro. And you want to know what's
Yeah.
crazy is that my parents have
I
recently
know.
become the biggest Killbillies.
We didn't
fans.
talk about
yeah.
that. They come to loads of shows. It's so cool.
They love it. Well,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
big riders of local music, right? And it comes partially in due to the fact that their son's in a local band. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But like, I love that they set the example of like being a local
They,
yeah.
fan.
they saw us.
you know?
They
They're
saw
so
us at
cool,
Patty
those
Mac's,
guys.
man, and then they came up to us and they're like, "You guys got to play at Connolly's. That's where Sons of a Tradesman play
Oh
all the
my
time."
God.
They cut
and-
teeth, bro.
Yeah, dude. They're like, "You got to play at Connolly's," and I've played there many times with other bands, but
Oh, you have?
but never with Killbillies, and until we finally, we got that show.
That's
But
awesome.
The last couple months. Yeah.
It's awesome.
yeah. So we're actually playing there again in like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my favorite bar to get shitty.
Well, yeah,
That's why I'm
yeah.
going
Shout-
to leave here.
After
Shout
this-
out
after
to
this, we're
Connolly's
going.
and
Shout out
Caitlin
to
and the whole
Connolly.
crew over there, man. For
Yeah,
sure.
if I can
I know
while
you
we're
wanted to
doing
big
bar
up some.
shout-outs.
I know you wanted to big up some of your venues. Didn't
Yeah,
you?
some
Wanna-
cool
do it.
bar shout outs. So honestly, too, but before I start shouting out venues, like a shout out just to venues in general, man, that survived the
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
And so, wow,
You can shard out
it
Foster's
does
too.
say shart.
Foster's too. Shard out.
And Foster too, like the first like real like bar we ever.
That was
played.
the worst bar that we
Yeah,
like dangerous
selling
bar.
amphetamines.
till those-
like I
It's
don't
one of
know,
those bars.
Yeah.
Right.
Every guy has them.
Yeah.
But no, in all realness, while we're shouting out the venues, like obviously Corona happened. Like our band, we signed our deal on March 15th last year.
Yeah.
And in case you guys
I
forgot,
remember,
the
yeah.
world stopped turning on March 17th.
I know.
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
We
Unbelievable.
got to
It's
ride it.
super unfortunate.
Yeah, we got to ride it high for 2 days, and then kind of went down the shitter.
Yeah.
But we're still lucky to be in the position that we're in. But we got to the point that we're at a lot in part, obviously, with the support of other bands from around here that are bigger than us, been doing it longer than us, like Spread the Dub, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And then again, largely in part due to the venues around town. So like Connolly's is like the first like real bar that we ever played, where they book real bands.
Mhm.
And,
Yeah.
and so it's
Yeah.
a real thing. You got to show up with a real set of music. And there was many a time where we played there where they should have never booked us again. Like where one of us got arrested on the way to the
Oh,
show,
God.
or I got
That's
too-
happened to us.
Yeah, I got so hammered one time they had to pull me off a stage. Like multiple.
And the
things.
3-piece had to like take up like an hour and a half
Yeah,
of
it was
music.
fucking terrible. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
it happened, and we survived it.
And we survived.
And then Corona happened, right? And
Yeah.
everybody and their mother who made a living in the music industry was wondering
we
what
still did it though.
we were wondering what the fuck we were gonna do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you start as a band in your local scene and reaching out to your local venues, trying to figure out what you can do to be a benefit to your whole community. And we really partnered up with Crazy Uncle Mike's in that time, as you can see by my beautiful cum hat here on the
That's
table.
what it stands
the whole
for.
time,
Okay, we're
Crazy
not
Uncle
just being
Mike's.
dirty for no
Not just
reason.
dirty, but, like that man hung a picture of me from the inside of his restaurant
With-
bro,
Yeah,
with
man.
the
That's
beloved.
cool.
with my boy
Polycarpo.
Nicholas, and it's like
It's a cool bar.
it's
It is.
it's
It's a great bar.
bar.
It's a
And
great
you
setup
look
in
at
there.
somebody like Mike and
Sounding
owners,
is awesome.
owners like Dave and Matthews Brewing and places of the sort, or Matt, your bandmate over at
Yeah,
Propaganda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
shout out to Matt over
Yeah,
Propaganda.
big shout out to Krug and Propaganda,
yeah,
but just
100%.
just
Love you,
these
Sarah.
places that understand that their local bands do bring some type of value to their
Yeah.
community, and that there are people out there that really look forward to going out and seeing these bands do their thing, and just being a part of it, and feeling a part of something bigger, or feeling some sense of normalcy, and
Absolutely.
whatever it might be that drives you to be at that show. You're at that show.
Well-
And we couldn't do that without our venues.
Yeah,
man,
well, I mean,
so.
the
Yeah.
truth is, you were talking about how we all, as musicians, we have this privilege of doing what we do and getting paid for it,
Tremendous
and et cetera. But we couldn't do what we do without the venues and without their
100%
support.
no.
So
Exactly.
no, definitely.
That's
Just
why
nobody thanks their venues enough. Nobody thanks the venue owners enough. Nobody thanks the chefs enough. Nobody from their stages pushes the bar's tips as hard as they do the band's tips. And it's like, you need to realize, man, if it wasn't for those 4 fucking walls and that stage and that sound guy, that you wouldn't be fucking shit.
Yeah.
And you need to be a little bit
Straight
more
up.
grateful for it, man.
Yeah,
you need to be a little
feel
bit
it.
more grateful for it, and thank your venue owners, and push your shows a little bit fucking harder.
buy their
and
shirts,
realize that you're
buy their
fucking
merch,
lucky, bro.
do
Yeah, I feel that, man.
whatever you can to help them, for sure.
All right, man. We're gonna do
Support your
our
venues.
shameless Killbillies plug now.
I think
God
it's,
damn
We
right.
do every
Yeah.
every week. We do our shameless
Killbillies.
Killbillies plug. We're playing Friday night at Mulligan's and Stewart. Saturday
Love
we're
that
doing
place.
downtown at the Gardens.
Yeah.
That's something we haven't done.
Oh yeah, the good credit scores.
Yeah, and Sunday Ben is doing a solo show at Ocean Republic.
yeah, up in Stewart.
So,
yeah,
and
that's
then-
a cool little bar.
and-
If you've never been there, you should check it out.
Next week we have Joey Calderio. Calderio. Is that
That's
correct?
it, Calderio,
Yeah, Calderio.
yeah.
Okay. Little quick thing on him. He just put out a single called Paradise featuring Sierra Lane on there.
Yeah, she was our first guest.
And his
Sierra.
and he I just saw he did a post today that there's some music charts or something that he showed up on, and he's like something like 17th on this chart or something with this single Paradise. So congrats to him, and we'll talk
for him.
We'll talk to him next week about that, man.
He's a hard-working man.
Palm Beach
he really
on the
is.
bro.
He's an organized, hard-working man. I
Yeah.
respect his work ethic. That guy. He's just honestly just constantly posting songs that he does all the. He's a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
He's posting stuff all the time. He has a great
like our
fan group and stuff.
the
and
local Dave
does
Grohl,
a
man.
really good fan service. He's super cool with all his fans, and he's just very organized
That's
and
awesome.
honored guy. He's a cool guy. Yeah.
Great job.
Looking forward
I'll
to
be
talking
watching.
to him.
Well, guys, we absolutely appreciate you guys being.
Thank you so much.
you.
We
Here.
definitely appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, no, man. It's
I've only seen
man.
videos of
Crazy.
you guys before, bro. So this is awesome, actually.
If I may, before we leave, to whatever camera is watching, to any musician out there that gets paid to play their instrument in front of any crowd, remember that there's somebody watching you and that's following your example. And remember that there's somebody somewhere that's working some shitty fucking job that wishes they were you for 5 minutes. And understand how grateful you should be to be in the position that you are in. And anybody who dreams of playing an instrument for any type of money that ever comes and asks you a question, understand that you are blessed and fortunate to be in a position to answer that fucking question. Start respecting your craft the way that it deserves to be fucking respected, and start treating your fans the way they deserve to be fucking treated. Because
Right on.
you are lucky. You are fucking lucky.
Amen,
To
bro.
get
Grateful
paid.
every day, man.
Okay,
Grateful every day.
to play an instrument.
It's what we're doing. Come and check it